Grab your raincoats because today we are stepping right into the rugged, windswept world of the west coast of Ireland. We're exploring an amazing documentary called Connemara, which translates to The Way of the Sea. In this explainer, we're going to unpack the incredibly deep, complex, and totally inseparable connection between the Irish people and the ocean. It's really a story about how our environment shapes who we are, no matter where we live. And as we'll see, it's a relationship of immense beauty, but it is also completely defined by survival. There is this one single, profound truth that just completely drives life in the coastal community of Clochán. The sea is in the blood of our people. This isn't just geography for them, you guys. It is their entire identity. The Atlantic Ocean isn't just some pretty water they happen to live next to. It's something that pulses through generations, dictating their daily routines, their economy, and really their entire worldview. Part 1. The heart of the coast, tradition, and livelihood. To really wrap our heads around this tradition, we have to meet Mícheál Ó Conghaile. He's a traditional fisherman in his 60s, and honestly, he is widely considered the absolute heart and soul of the Clochán community. Watching him walk along the pier and prepare his boat on mic for days' work, it just gives you this remarkably steady, warm sense of continuity. I mean, he is doing exactly what his ancestors did, out on the exact same waters. When he finally climbs aboard his boat, he just looks up with this incredibly warm smile and says, "Well, friends, another day, another way on the sea." It's such a simple little line, but it perfectly captures that daily, almost romanticized rhythm of a life, intertwined with the ocean's giving nature. He doesn't seem burdened by the heavy labor at all. Instead, he seems totally at peace with his place in the world, sustained by the very waters he sails on. But look, life out here exists on a total razor's edge. On one hand, you've got the sea as this ultimate provider. It gives them a livelihood, it sustains these deep community traditions, and it acts almost like a nurturing mother figure. But directly opposing that is the sea as a taker. It brings incredibly volatile weather, dangerous changing tides, and this constant looming threat of turbulent physical danger. The ocean takes just as easily as it gives. Which brings us to Part 2, the unpredictable sea, shifting tides and rising threats. The harsh reality for Clochán today is that environmental threats are seriously escalating. Weather patterns are shifting rapidly. The winds battering the coast are growing visibly stronger, and the tides themselves are becoming increasingly dangerous. What this means on a practical level is that for fishermen like Mícheál, their daily lives and the very ways they make a living are becoming way more precarious than they were even a single generation ago. Part 3. Unsung Heroes of Rescue, the Modern Coast Guard. And this is where Ciara comes in. She's a woman in her late 30s who leads the local Coast Guard unit. If Mícheál represents the deep-rooted traditions of the village, Ciara is absolutely our avatar for modern vigilance. She is constantly reviewing maritime charts, double-checking equipment, and prepping her young team in their bright orange dry suits. She really stands as a symbol of the protective, highly trained reality that is strictly required to survive on the modern coast. Ciara has this perspective that just perfectly nails the mindset you need for a job like hers. She says, "It is what it is, the sea. You never know what will happen." Zero romanticism there, right? It's a completely pragmatic life-or-death reality. It emphasizes the constant threat sitting just offshore. Because, honestly, you can prep all you want, but the ocean ultimately makes the rules. To really grasp the stakes here, just think about the number 80. Earlier in the year, the Coast Guard team had to battle winds ripping across the water at up to 80 kilometers per hour. And to put that into perspective, wind at that speed generates waves strong enough to effortlessly flip a standard car. Just imagine the sheer force of nature required to push a massive body of water around like that, and what it would literally be like to be trapped right in the middle of it. So, right in the middle of that severe storm, a father and his son actually got trapped out on the water in their small fishing boat. And things went from bad to worse fast. Their boat started taking on water, leaving both men absolutely terrified that they were going to sink to the bottom. Finally, through sheer grit, Ciara's Coast Guard team battled through those massive towering waves, reaching the men just in time to bring them safely back to the harbor. The emotional climax of this whole event is incredible, seeing these incredibly tough, weather-beaten fishermen, visibly shaken, just embracing their families in pure relief on the pier. Looking back on that terrifying near miss, Mícheál sums up the village's collective feeling perfectly. He says, "The sea is a mother. She is to be respected, but she can be very turbulent too." It just beautifully balances the deep respect and the very real fear that the entire community holds for the water. They know it gives them life, but they've just seen firsthand how quickly it can try to take it away. So it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is life on the coast really only about danger and survival? Like, is it just this endless, grim battle against the elements? Well, absolutely not. The answer lies in how this community pushes back and their incredible resilience and joy. Bringing us to part 4, community and celebration. Féile na Farraige. Because the storm always clears eventually, right? As the sun sets, the whole village completely transforms for their annual sea festival, Féile na Farraige. The community strings these gorgeous, colorful flags all across the street. It is this amazing moment where they consciously take a step back from the edge and transform their proximity to danger into a massive, collective celebration of life. The scenes from this festival are just so vibrant. You've got these packed, lively, traditional music sessions totally taking over the local pub. Out on the water, the danger of the sea is temporarily forgotten while young kids compete in races using curraghs, which incredibly are traditional boats historically made out of just wooden frames and animal hides. And back on land, people of all ages are set dancing together right there in the middle of the street. What we're watching isn't just a party, it's the active, joyful passing down of coastal tradition to the next generation. It's how they make sure their culture survives whatever storms are yet to come. There's this moment where a customer in the pub makes a really brilliant observation over all the noise. They say, "We love the music. It's the music that keeps the community together." And wow, that is such a vital realization. While the sea might provide the fish and their financial livelihood, it's actually this human connection, the music, the dancing, the shared experiences that truly anchors them. It's the community itself that keeps them from washing away. And you see Mícheál, Ciara, and those young Coast Guard volunteers all coming together, mingling happily in the festival crowd. For tonight at least, there is no fighting the sea. There is only music, love, and community. It is a beautiful, totally earned moment of peace and unity, completely insulated, just for one night, from the harsh elements outside their doors. But eventually, every party has to end. We leave Mícheál looking out at this vast, moonlit ocean reflecting the stars, holding a warm cup of tea. When he's asked about the future, he just replies, "What else? There is only the sea." The sea is their past, their present, and it's their future. And looking at that view, you really have to ask yourself, could a community like this ever truly exist anywhere else?